People always say a picture tells 1,000 words. They never tell you that sometimes a single picture can destroy the life you thought you were living. The photo sat on my phone for almost 2 days before I looked at it closely. At first, I smiled. It was just another picture from my best friend's birthday dinner. Everyone looked happy, everyone looked normal. I had no idea that one tiny reflection in the background would change everything. My name is Emma, and until that night, I believed I had the kind of relationship people wish they had. Ryan and I had been together for 5 years. 5 years of birthdays, vacations, lazy Sunday mornings, and late-night talks about the future. We had already picked names for our future children. We had even toured houses together, imagining which room would become a nursery. Whenever people asked me what true love looked like, I pointed to us. At least, I used to. Ryan was charming without trying. He remembered birthdays, opened doors, and always knew how to make everyone laugh. My parents loved him, my friends trusted him, even strangers thought we were the perfect couple. Looking back now, I realize perfection can be the best disguise. It started with little things. His phone suddenly became more important than our conversations. Whenever it buzzed, he'd smile at the screen before turning it face down. Work, he would say with a casual shrug. I believed him. Why wouldn't I? Trust doesn't disappear overnight. It fades so slowly that you don't notice until it's almost gone. Then came the late meetings. The business trips that appeared without warning. The cancelled dinner plans. Every time I questioned him, he had an answer ready. I wish I had more time. I'm doing this for our future. You know how demanding my job is. Each excuse sounded reasonable. Each excuse made me feel guilty for even asking. So I stopped asking. Instead, I convinced myself that relationships go through difficult seasons. I told myself love meant patience. One Friday evening, my best friend Olivia invited us to her birthday dinner. Ryan almost said no. I've got work, he said while staring at his laptop. I smiled. Just an hour. Olivia would be disappointed if we didn't come. He hesitated longer than usual before finally agreeing. At the restaurant, everything felt normal. People laughed, music played softly, glasses clinked together as everyone celebrated. Ryan was his usual charming self. He joked with everyone at the table. He wrapped his arm around my shoulder whenever someone took pictures. Anyone watching us would have believed we were completely in love. Maybe that's what hurts the most. Sometimes the biggest lies are hidden inside the happiest memories. Before we left, Olivia insisted on taking one final group photo. Everyone squeezed together. The waiter counted down. 3, 2, 1, flash. We hugged everyone goodbye and drove home. Life continued exactly as before. Or so I thought. 2 days later, Olivia sent the photo to our group chat. Dozens of messages followed. People joked about funny faces. Someone complained about the lighting. I downloaded the picture without thinking much about it. Later that night, while relaxing on the couch, I opened it again. I zoomed in because I wanted to crop it for my phone wallpaper. That's when I noticed something strange. Not Ryan, not me, the restaurant window behind us. The glass reflected a part of the dining room that wasn't visible from where we stood. At first, it looked like nothing. Just blurry lights and people. But one figure caught my attention. A woman. She wasn't facing the camera. She was looking at Ryan. Not the kind of glance strangers exchange. It was familiar, comfortable, almost affectionate. Ryan wasn't looking at the camera either. His eyes were fixed on her. His expression was one I hadn't seen in months. Warm, relaxed, happy, the kind of smile I thought only belonged to me. A chill ran through my body. No, I whispered to myself. I zoomed in again. The image became blurry. Maybe I was imagining it. Maybe it was just bad timing. Maybe it meant absolutely nothing. I wanted to believe every excuse my mind could invent. Because accepting the truth felt impossible. I looked at the photo for nearly an hour. Every time I convinced myself I was overthinking, something pulled me back. That reflection, that smile, that look between them, it didn't feel accidental. It felt like a secret. And for the first time in 5 years, I wondered if I had ever really known the man I loved. To be continued. I tried to convince myself I was imagining things. For the next 3 days, I looked at that photo every chance I got. I zoomed in until the image became blurry. I even asked myself if I was simply seeing what I feared. But every time I looked at Ryan's face, I noticed the same thing. He wasn't looking at the camera. He was looking at her. I couldn't sleep that night. Every conversation we had shared over the past year played over in my mind. The late meetings, the cancelled dates, the phone he suddenly kept locked, the smiles that disappeared whenever he came home. None of it had seemed important before. Now every memory felt different. The next morning, Ryan kissed my forehead before leaving for work. I'll be home early, he said with a smile. I smiled back. Sounds good. The door closed behind him. I waited exactly 5 minutes before opening my laptop. I wasn't proud of what I was doing. But I needed answers. I opened social media and searched through every photo from Olivia's birthday dinner. Different guests had posted different angles. Most showed nothing unusual. Then I found one picture taken by a coworker sitting near the back of the restaurant. Ryan was visible in the corner. So was the same woman. She wasn't sitting with our group. She was at another table. Yet somehow, she seemed to know exactly where Ryan was. My heart raced. Was it a coincidence? Or had they planned to meet there? I downloaded the picture and stared at it for several minutes. Then I noticed something else. The woman wore a silver bracelet with a tiny blue stone. For some reason, it felt familiar. I couldn't remember where I had seen it before. Hours later, while folding laundry, the answer hit me. A few months earlier, Ryan had come home carrying a small gift bag. When I asked what it was, he laughed. Oh, just something for a coworker's retirement party. I had believed him. Inside that bag, I remembered seeing the exact same bracelet before he quickly closed it. My hands froze. Maybe it wasn't for a retirement party after all. That evening Ryan came home acting completely normal. He asked about my day. He ordered our favorite takeout. He even suggested we watch a movie together. Every smile felt rehearsed. Every kind word suddenly sounded like part of a script. Halfway through the movie, his phone buzzed. He glanced at it for less than a second. Then he flipped it over. I'll be right back. He walked into the kitchen. I stayed where I was. A minute later, I heard him speaking in a whisper. I couldn't make out every word. Only one sentence reached me clearly. I'll call you later. When he returned, he acted as if nothing had happened. That hurt more than anything. The lies had become effortless. The following weekend, Ryan said he had another work meeting. I won't be long. I nodded. Drive safely. The moment he left, I made a decision. I wasn't going to accuse him. Not yet. I simply wanted to know the truth. Keeping a careful distance, I followed him across town. Instead of driving toward his office, he parked outside a quiet little cafe. A few minutes later, the same woman from the photographs arrived. She smiled the moment she saw him. Ryan smiled back. They hugged. Not the awkward hug of coworkers. Not the quick greeting between friends. It was warm, comfortable, natural, as if they had done it many times before. I felt my chest tighten. Still, I stayed hidden. They sat by the window talking for almost an hour. Sometimes they laughed. Sometimes they leaned closer to each other. Then Ryan reached across the table and held her hand. That was the moment every remaining doubt disappeared. The truth was sitting right in front of me. I quietly took out my phone. Not to embarrass anyone, not to start a scene. Only to remember that this moment had really happened. When they finally left, I returned to my car without saying a word. The drive home felt endless. I cried harder than I ever had. Not because I had lost him, but because I realized I had been grieving our relationship long before I knew it was over. That evening Ryan walked through the front door carrying flowers. I thought these would make you smile. I looked at the bouquet. The flowers were beautiful, but now they felt like an apology for something he hadn't admitted. I accepted them anyway. Thank you. He hugged me, for the first time in 5 years. His embrace felt unfamiliar. That night, after he fell asleep, I opened my phone again. I looked at the cafe pictures. Then the birthday photo. Then every memory I had collected. A quiet realization settled over me. I didn't want revenge fueled by anger. I wanted the truth to speak for itself. If Ryan had built his new life on lies, I wasn't going to tear it down with shouting or insults. I would simply let the facts come into the light. And once they did, no excuse in the world would be enough. I closed my phone and stared into the darkness. Tomorrow, everything would begin to change. The next morning, I woke up calmer than I had been in days. The tears were gone. The panic was gone. What remained was clarity. I realized something important. I didn't need to win an argument. I didn't need to embarrass Ryan or make him suffer. I only needed the truth. For the next week, I said very little. Ryan noticed I was quieter than usual, but he assumed I was stressed from work. One evening he smiled and asked, "Everything okay?" I looked at him for a moment. "Just tired." He nodded without asking another question. That was when I understood how far apart we had grown. The man who once noticed every little change in my mood no longer saw what was right in front of him. A few days later, Olivia called. "I'm having everyone over for dinner this Saturday," she said. "You and Ryan are coming, right?" I smiled. "We'll be there." After hanging up, I knew this would be the moment. Not because I wanted a dramatic scene, but because everyone deserved honesty. Saturday arrived. Ryan dressed like nothing had changed. "You look beautiful," he said as we left the house. Those words would have meant everything to me once. Now they felt empty. Olivia welcomed us with a hug. Friends laughed, music played softly, and the evening felt just like every gathering before. Ryan talked with everyone, telling stories and making people laugh. Watching him, I realized how easy it had become for him to wear two different faces. After dinner, Olivia suggested taking another group photo. Everyone smiled. The flash went off. As people gathered around to look at the picture, I took a slow breath. "There's something I'd like to share," I said calmly. The room became quiet. Ryan looked at me, confused. I connected my phone to the television in Olivia's living room. The first image appeared. It was the birthday photo from the restaurant. "I didn't notice anything unusual at first," I said. Then I looked closer. I zoomed in on the reflection in the window. Several people leaned forward. Ryan's smile disappeared. The second photo appeared. It showed him at the cafe. Then another. And another. No dramatic words were needed. The pictures spoke for themselves. The room stayed silent. Ryan finally stood up. "Emma, I can explain." I looked at him with surprising calm. "I've given you many chances to explain over the last year." He lowered his head. The woman from the cafe wasn't there, but her absence didn't change the truth. Ryan admitted he had been seeing someone else for months. He said he never meant to hurt me. He said he was confused. He said he wanted to tell me. Maybe some of that was true. But every lie had been a choice. Every secret had been a choice. Every promise he broke had been a choice. I didn't yell. I didn't insult him. I simply took off the ring he had once given me. I placed it gently on the table. I deserve someone who doesn't need two lives to be happy. Then I walked out. No one tried to stop me. Outside, the night air felt cool. For the first time in weeks, I could breathe. The following months weren't easy. Ending a 5-year relationship meant rebuilding almost every part of my life. I moved into a smaller apartment. I started painting again, something I had given up years earlier. I spent more time with my family and friends. Little by little, I stopped thinking about what I had lost. Instead, I focused on what I still had. My self-respect, my peace, my future. Several months later, Olivia showed me another picture from one of our weekend trips. Everyone was laughing. I looked different, not because of my clothes, not because of my hairstyle. My smile was real. For the first time in a long time, I wasn't pretending everything was okay. One afternoon, I received a message from Ryan. "I'm sorry for everything. I know I can't change the past, but I hope one day you'll forgive me." I stared at the screen for a long time. Then I typed only one sentence. "I forgive you, but I'm not going back." I pressed send, not for him, for myself. Forgiveness wasn't about giving him another chance. It was about refusing to carry the weight of his choices any longer. Months turned into a year. Life continued. One evening, while cleaning old files from my phone, I found that same birthday photo. The picture that had changed everything. I smiled, not because it reminded me of the pain, but because it reminded me of the truth. Sometimes the hardest moments become the beginning of something better. One photo didn't destroy my life. It revealed the life I was truly living. And once I saw the truth, I finally had the courage to choose a different future. If there's one lesson I learned, it's this. Trust is precious, but so is self-respect. When someone chooses dishonesty, don't lose yourself trying to protect their secrets. The truth may hurt at first, but it also opens the door to healing. Looking back now, I don't remember that photo as the moment I lost everything. I remember it as the moment I found myself again. And that made all the difference.